So today's video is all about tool talk. I'm going to show you some of my favorite garden tools, some that are and some that you could probably take a complete pass on. So we'll call this grouping of tools my compost tools. This is a corkscrew tool for the compost pile, and it works like this. It's fabulous. I can pull up bits of compost to the top easily. It's so much easier on the body. Love this corkscrew tool. Before that, I used a pitchfork or a fork. You can see it's bent. It's had a lot of use over the years. This is great for compost. It's also great to aerate the soil. The next tool is one my brother made for me because 20 years ago, there was nothing commercially like this. And I said, I would like a box with some 1/4-inch hardware cloth on it, some handles, something that fit over the wheelbarrow. And this is what he made me. It has worked perfectly. It's held up well, and I love it. A couple of years ago, I did buy one commercially. Does the same job. But it's better for small jobs, like just some seeding compost or something, but I like that one. Next, let's talk rakes. These two pretty much only get used in the fall when we need a lot of leaves picked up fast as they're coming down. This one gets used a lot mid-season. Actually all season. It's just very useful and handy, and the metal tines really are very helpful for doing a lot of jobs. This one is excellent when you're spreading the compost. This way to get it all spread out, and this way gets it all nice and even. Great tool to have in the garden. This one and this one are very helpful in all the gardens, in my vegetable garden, in my flower gardens, to get debris swept up from in between the plants. Particularly helpful in the spring when all the seeds, particularly the helicopter ones, the maple leaf seeds, come out. This one's great for the bed, and so is this one. Great tools. Honestly, we don't use this one much anymore. If we use it for anything, it's kind of to spread wood chips when we have them delivered around plants. This and this are hula hose or stirrup hose. When we did mostly in-ground, this long one was fabulous. But now that we have raised beds mostly, this little shorty is the tool of choice. You can just tickle the surface when those weeds are young and get them. It's kind of a chop and drop thing. Excellent tool. So this grouping of tools is all about pruning things. So these little pruners are great. They're good for lots and lots of different jobs on wood that is new or fresh. It's a bypass pruner. These two are for tree limbs mostly, or bushes, or that kind of thing. This was the first set we bought. It's an anvil type. There's only a blade on the one side, and then it hits. So this one telescopes, and that makes it even longer to get up farther away from you and higher up into trees and so forth. It has many sizes. I also like this one because it ratchets, which helps you when you're trying to prune things. Hear that ratchet action? Awesome tool, worth the money totally. These are just good for shearing grass up next to a raised bed or any edge. It's a great little tool to have. And then of course a hand shear for the hedges or other types of bushes, and I use it for a lot of jobs. Love this tool. Okay, let's talk shovels next. We have a lot of different kinds of shovels with flat heads and big scoop heads and so on and so forth. But if you're gonna have one shovel, for me, it's this one. I get a lot of leverage with that long handle and the point on the end of the tool. It's my favorite shovel for just about any job out there. Scoop shovels and so forth. These come in very, very handy for lots of purposes. Getting compost out of a bag, that type of thing. I'm going to tell you right now, invest in good tools because it is not worth getting cheap ones when it comes to shovels. If you have no other tool, this is the tool you need for your garden. It's the Hori knife. It has so many uses. This is my first one and I probably got it 8 years ago. It has a serrated edge on one side, and that's great for when you're underground and you want to get a root sawed off, or just planting something or digging something out. It also has measurements on the tool in case you need that to plant a bulb. It is just the most versatile tool in the garden. And we own 2 of them. We own 2 of them. Why? Because we both wanted to use it all the time at the same time, and so we needed to get a second one, the Hori knife. You won't be sorry. Here's the last of the shovels, which I would say take a pass on. I thought it was really cool because it telescoped and could become a long shovel as well as a short shovel. I never use it. It's not that cool. Don't bother. This is the weed popper, and it was given to me by a dear friend. It's very interesting. You put these tines right into the middle of the weed. You kick this, and it pulls the weed right up. It has an action like that. This is a fabulous tool. Until she gave this to me, I never saw one of these available for sale. But if you ever do, this is worth the money. This tool is called the Weed Hound, and it does work. You put it in the center of the weed, you push it down with your foot, you pull up the weed, and it grabs it into these tines. And then to get the weed and the earth and everything you've just picked up, you have to go like this. And with the weed and everything inside of there, it takes a lot of force to get that out, and it hurts your hand after about 10 times. So it's a tool, it works, but I would take a pass because it's not worth being in pain. These 3 tools are all good for pulling out weeds in the lawn. They're old, they're deformed, they've been really used, they work, they're old-fashioned. This one is nice because it's very, very sharp and it telescopes, so you can get at a weed longer. They're all worth it. We've gone through several over the years, and it's a good old-fashioned tool that works well. The next one in our weeding tools is a single tine weeding hook. It's good, it's great for raised beds, but honestly, I don't use it that often, so I might say take a pass on it. This tool is called the Pinocchio, and it's fabulous. You can get down next to a weed and really get it out nice. It's got an ergonomic action, so it's easy on your hand. It's also great to get down next to a garlic or a leek that is down in the earth and get it loosened up so that you can pull it out. Great all-around tool, the Pinocchio. These little cultivating forks are fabulous tools. I had this one for years and used it, and I pretty much replaced it with this tool. This tool is much more heavy duty, and it has this extra piece right here. So when you're trying to get something in the bed, you've got the leverage of this hand and this hand together to work. It's an aluminum, heavy-duty aluminum tool. It's fabulous. This is a dibber. This is great for planting in your seedlings. I never knew I needed one until I got it, and now I don't know how I ever did without it. Here's how we protect our knees and our backs. These cushions are great. They're portable. They're good to kneel on. This is a kneeler seat. I've been sitting on one for most of this video, but more importantly, it becomes a kneeler. And now I can get down, do my job. I can even put one of these on here as well for double cushioning. And then when I am finished with the job, I can just push up. And I don't know about you, but these days I need that feature. So you also need some kind of buckets. And these are trugs. This one is a real trug, and it's the first one I ever got, probably, I don't know, 15 years or so ago now. It's still working, it's still in good shape, it's never broken. It's worth the extra money. This one is a knockoff, and thank goodness it's still going, but most of the time these knockoffs will break at the handles because it's a different grade of plastic. And then you need 5-gallon buckets. They're just good for all kinds of jobs in the garden. I also like something to carry my amendments around in. This one works really pretty well. It was cheap, and it fits all the things I like to carry outside. Another great tool for the arsenal, a sawtooth tree saw. It's great, good action, fits in there really nicely. Gotta have one. So this is one I thought was going to be really cool for harvesting. It's a sharp little knife that fits on your finger and a little silicone pad so that you can pick things. It was cool for a little while, but I don't really use it. I'd take a pass. Here's another little harvesting tool that I thought would be really cool, and it works. But again, I don't use it. I'd take a pass. It's nice to have a rolling something to carry your tools out to the garden with you. This thing is so old, I don't even know if they make it anymore, but it's fab. This is a stiff fill thing that goes inside the municipal lawn bags to keep it upright. And then I put it in my hand truck, and the hand truck goes with me out into the yard. I have a large yard, and to go from one end to the other, it's awfully nice to have this on wheels. I hope you got something out of this video. I know I always like to know the tools that people like, don't like. It saves me a lot of money. And remember, sometimes the only thing we harvest is knowledge, and that's okay. Bye for now. We'll see you on the next one.